What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Okay, here we are on this, the 22nd of April. Up about 3% on the day. Bitcoin's up a good bit today, too, isn't it? It's up like 2%. Nice, yeah. We're really breaking out, guys. We're doing it. We're doing it with Bitcoin. I'm going to make a Bitcoin video after this, but we're also doing it with XCN here, OnyxCoin. Sitting at 1.727 cents. We held this area as support. We almost bullishly engulfed it. We're not getting a whole lot of volume down here, and that's fine. We don't need a lot of volume until we're breaking out, right? Until we're getting like above these areas here at like 1.9 cents or higher. But right now, what I'm really focused on is the fact that the 4-hour RSI is bouncing off the oversold zone. You're getting overbought, but you're repulsed by the oversold zone. I like that. We're above the 40. I like that. We need to continue. We need to continue and get above the 60, or at least to the 60. I think even getting to the 60 would be a nice move, because that would cause some kind of a break of this overall bear flag, or bull flag. It's not a bear flag that we're in, right? We're in the bearish trend of the bull flag right now. We're in the consolidation phase. But you guys know something that's interesting. There's two types of philosophy or psychology whenever it comes to movements like this, right? There's the classic, when you get a big pump like this, it creates a bunch of euphoria. You get a bunch of suckers to buy the top, and what happens with that is all the euphoria, all the people buy at the top, they miss the pump, and then it dumps down, right? That's one of the kind of standard situations that happens in crypto and stocks and life. As people get in whenever it's too late, and only whenever they're euphoric. But then there's another saying, and I don't know how to phrase this properly, but there's that, everybody knows that chart where it's like it talks about market cycles, and you're in the depths of the bear market, and you have that first pump, and that's the denial rally, right? When you pump, everybody's in denial. Oh yeah, it's pumping, but it's still going to go down, right? Because that's what it does. It goes down. So it's a denial rally, or disbelief. That's what it is. Disbelief rally, right? This to me feels like the disbelief rally. It's like the beginning of bigger things to come, if you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry. But what do I mean by disbelief rally? Well, I was going through on my YouTube comments, and I was going through on X.com too, on OnyxDAO, and you guys, there is the best thing. So somebody was saying in the comments that there's a lot of negativity going on with OnyxCoin. They don't know how it's going to go up, and they're not like with OnyxDAO or the coin itself, just with the sentiment of the community. There's a lot of negativity, and I don't know if it's just bots or if it is genuinely people who are discouraged by it. But man, I see so many negative comments about OnyxCoin. It's ridiculous, and that is actually fuel to the fire, to the upside, right? You've got so many people who are outwardly saying they are watching this coin and they are not holding it. They're glad they sold, that they had to take a loss, and good riddance, like all kinds of stuff like that, right? You're having people, and I don't know how you're taking a loss if it pumped you. I mean, maybe if you bought back, in February, that could have happened. But even then, I mean, you had an opportunity probably where you would have been neutral at least. I don't know. If you sold for a loss, you sold at a bad time, and that's more on you than anything, right? But all I'm trying to say, because you don't buy high and sell low. It's okay if you buy high. It's not okay to buy high and sell low, right? Just wait, and it'll all come up. But if we go to OnyxDAO here, let me just show you. OnyxDAO. Somebody said that the search tab on X.com sucks, and I agree, man. It's really bad, actually. It's like actually really, really bad. I don't know how you can type someone's name in perfectly and still not get what you're looking for. Let's see here. Let's see. Right, we got to go all the way back down to the 7th, don't we? Or no, not the 7th. We need to go to where the top was. Where was it? What day was that? That was on the 11th there. Okay, so the 11th. Let's see. Goliath. No, maybe not. Maybe not the 11th. Okay, Binance Futures. Here we are. So we click on this. There's 91 comments. That's not everything, right? This is probably not a whole taste of the community, but you go through here. Let's see. Cool. That's bullish. This one seems to be a bearish comment, but whatever. Time to short. Bearish comment. Bearish comment. Bearish comment. Bearish comment. Someone's like, why is this a bad thing? I seen it back in January, February, screaming for a Binance listing, and now you get it, but it's apparently bad. They might not just understand, but I don't think it is a bad thing, actually, personally. I'm with you, but the reason why it's bad is because people can short. But the thing is, it gives Binance the exposure of being able to short and buy and like trade the coin without actually having the coin, so you can impact the price without actually even owning it. But the thing is, people have been able to short OnyxCoin already, so it's actually not that big of a deal. So I'm kind of with this guy actually. Scammer Binance. XCN just pulled Onyx level breakout. Let's see. While majors are bleeding, super. So this guy's not bearish, right? So there's like 3 bullish comments so far. Isn't this great? XCN will get shorted to death. There's an awesome project. So, oh hey. Well, that's it for XCN, Bill. Probably not, man. Probably not. But I'll give you a heart. Binance scam of mouth, them buying to dump and short. So people are bearish. I think I made my point, right? You can go through my most recent video on YouTube of OnyxCoin. I was actually going through it today right before I made this video. I was spending like 15-20 minutes going through it. And man, there's a lot of disbelief. This is by all definitions, you guys, a disbelief rally. I'm actually surprised. I really did not expect to see all the disbelief. And the thing is, when I read these comments, it doesn't hurt my feelings. It doesn't make me sad. It actually makes me really happy, because whenever you pump and you have disbelief, that's so much better than having euphoria. It's when people are euphoric that we top off, right? I wonder if we can look at this market cycle chart. Let's just see if people know what I'm talking about here. This right here, right? This one, yeah, this one. Everybody knows the diagram, right? Disbelief rally. Or no. So this is the disbelief rally right here, and then there's hope, and there's optimism, belief, thrill, euphoria, right? And maybe this isn't the best example of what I'm talking about, but yeah, like right here, disbelief. You dump, you get all of it right. We got the complacency. Oh, it's going to come back up. Anxiety. What if the margin calls? Denial, right? We all might have had a little denial in the last dump, but at the same time, not denial, just conviction, because we knew that it was going to come back up anyways. But now here's our disbelief rally. This is a better representation, right? Disbelief. This is a suckers rally. That's exactly what's going on right now, right? You see the cycle, right? We're here. We're right where the red's turning to blue. We're right here, and we don't even have the prosperity yet. We're on our way to the peak. We're at the base. We're just breaking out. Does it make sense as to where we are from a psychological standpoint? We've got optimism, belief, thrill, and euphoria to go through before we actually top off. We're not at euphoria yet, and that's a bullish thing in itself. By the way, don't take this diagram to heart. It's a better idea than it is like a strict rule book, right? It doesn't have to be like this. Just because people are euphoric, or just because something's in belief, that doesn't mean that it has to go down, doesn't mean it has to go up. You know, I've seen plenty of times where people are euphoric and we go up for months still. I've seen plenty of times where there's a disbelief rally like this and we still go down. You know, it happens. But just general rule of thumb, whenever I see that, it does make me happy, right? It's just like with Bitcoin. Whenever I see a lot of people who are saying we're in a bear market, that we're in a bear market at the base of this consolidation phase while we're in a bull market, that's good. If everybody was saying we're in a bull market down here, that would remind me of exactly this back here, right? Everybody was saying, no, we're still in a bull market back here. Here, that's not the case. Most people are actually convinced we're in a bear market, or at least half of them are. I digress. The whole point is sentiment matters. Sentiment matters. And we can think of this objectively because, and I want to make sure you guys can hear me. I want to make sure, because this is my first video of the day. Yeah, okay, cool. Sentiment matters because when you think about it, if you have a bunch of people who are bearish, when you have everybody telling you that they're bearish and that this thing's going to zero and that they've sold out of it, what are they saying? They're saying that all the sellers that want to sell, because I know the people who are not bearish, who are not saying these negative comments on x.com, on YouTube, on whatever, what have you, the people who are not saying that, you're in the minority right now. I can tell because the majority seems to be negative, right? We just went through it. We saw it ourselves, and the majority seems to be negative. Maybe they're negative toward me, but toward the coin is all, you know, is all I'm saying. It's not about me. That means that the sellers have sold. Not only that, but they're paying attention to the coin and they're just hoping it drops. So the sellers have all sold. What happens when the sellers have all sold? You've hit your bottom. You've hit your low. There's nowhere left to go because you don't have any more sellers who want to sell. Now you just have people who are convicted strong hands who are holding, and now all you have left are buyers. And that's why the price goes up, right? And the price goes up the more buyers there are. All of these sellers who sold, who are in disbelief right now, will turn into buyers whenever, even the biggest haters of this coin, man, and maybe not all of them, but probably over half of them, a lot of them, will start to come back to this coin. We'll start to believe and give this a second chance. I got burned by it. I lost 50%, but hey, screw it. You know, if it's at 5 cents and this guy who I hate is actually being right and he says that it's going to go up from 5 cents to 20 cents, I can make my money back on it. It's going to happen fast. Boom. You know, that's how you get people to FOMO back in at unideal situations, honestly. And you should never be in that situation where you're buying back for a loss, but It happens. It happens. It's whether you like it or not. The sellers are actually a big reason why this thing goes up, or the past sellers, right? Again, all the sellers are gone, so what's left? Buyers, right? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? And we're in disbelief right now. It's very clear that all the sellers have sold. It's very, very clear that all the sellers have sold. So I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking so much. Let's get into the TA. Okay. Weekly time frame. Lower lows in the weekly RSI, higher lows in the price. Look up what that is. What does it mean when you get in the quotes? You can say, what does it mean when you get lower lows in the indicator but higher lows in the price? It'll say that is bullish divergence, hidden bullish divergence, right? On a weekly time frame, the larger the time frame, the more significant. This is significant. That's a good thing. Not only that, from a relative low to a relative high. No. Sorry, that's not the low. This would be the relative low. Right, that is the low back here, but relative to this move up, I think that low is a lot better. We tipped the 0.5, found support there, and that is an area that a lot of cryptos have been finding support at. We're looking to break, once we break, you guys, above this here, above 2.035 cents, which is also from a low to a high here. It's at the same exact 236 here. Once we break above that level, we are earmarked for prices that are higher than this. And we already are in a bull flag right now, which indicates that we will see 5.6 cents or thereabouts, right? So getting above 2 cents, you guys, is a big deal. There's a reason why we're consolidating around here, right? We're not rejecting it. We're not. We're consolidating around it. Coming off of this hidden bullish divergence, getting readings above the 50. We're rejecting the 60 a little bit, and that's okay, but we want to get above the 50. We want to get above the 50 on the weekly RSI, and I think we will once we get above the 236 here on the price as well. Very bullish circumstances that we're in right now. Bouncing off the 50, I often say you don't find significance at the 50 a lot of times, but when you do, you get significant results. Significant indeed it was. This is more than just a fake pump. This is more than just a false pump here, you guys. 122% in a week. I didn't see any other crypto pump that much this week. That amount of volume that we had there was immaculate. The most volume that we've seen since January, which was the very first week that we actually started to go down here, right? This week here, January 27th, was the first week that we started to go down. So since the glory days, that was the most volume that we've seen. I wonder what's coming our way. I wonder without wondering. And hey, look, the downward sloping week had less than half of the volume that we had here. It was barely average, where this was immensely above average. Who's in control? You can see it, man. You can see it. It's not a question. Weekly time frame looks phenomenal. 3-day time frame. 3-day time frame here. Getting overbought, but can't, or getting toward the overbought zone, can't do it. Rejecting the overbought zone a little bit. You're playing around in this area. That's fine. Play in this area. That's fine. You rejected the overbought zone before. You found support at the 60. You were playing in this area, and that inevitably sent you up to higher prices, right? I would compare like this little move up here to consolidation to this move. I'd compare that a lot to what we're doing here. Yes, it's a different scale, but the RSI is the relative strength index. So it's the relative strength relative to the price, to the move that you're accompanying, or you're being accompanied by in that moment, right? Got overbought twice. Got overbought here. Couldn't get oversold. Even when we get oversold, it's at a much shallower level than when we get overbought. We are absolutely dominant here, you guys, to the bullish effect. The amount of time that we spend below the 50 is insurmountable compared to the amount of time that we spend above the 50, at least since November here. So it's just ultimately dominated to the bullish side. This is another way of saying who's in charge, the bulls or your daddy, right? We all know that, except for the people that sold. Again, here, you're trying to get oversold, even in your weakest, most diabolical moments of despair, panic, anger. We had some of that. Depression, even throughout all of that. We had all that stuff, man. All of it. There was no oversold, or there was no sustained oversold readings. We basically just found support at the oversold zone. And look, first attempt getting overbought. Look at how deep into it we get. The bulls are clearly in control, you guys. You look at this pattern on a daily basis, it's clear as day. It's clear as anything, man, that this is a bull flag, okay? And I very much do believe, and we said it last night when we were just below 1.7 cents, whenever we were just below 1.7 cents there, I was saying we're looking death in the face here, and this is a bold call, but I very much believe that this is a balanced area, that we're going to hold this area of support, mainly because of the 382. The reason why is, just in my experience, in my 9 years of experience, you guys, you could take this one to the bank 90% of the time, okay? You will be wrong sometimes. You can't be right every time. Nothing's perfect in technical analysis. If you think that you're going to learn anything through technical analysis and be perfect through doing it, that's not how this works. That's not what this is. It's not a crystal ball. It's an idea. It's to give you an edge, right? It's like counting cards. Like, you're not going to be perfect, but you know how to mitigate risk at least, and then you exact your big bets. You save your big bets for whenever the count is up or down or whatever. I think it's whenever it's positive. I forget. Whenever the risk is lower, that's whenever you really slam the bets down. But I digress. I don't know a whole lot about counting cars. I'm just saying it's not a perfect system is all I'm trying to say. But over time, it's a winning system. Is the fact that if you take this simple look here, just this simple little mechanic of the Fibonacci. Man, why can't I want to delete that little measurement there from a low to a high. If you have a strong move, it's very specific, okay? This doesn't work for just anything. It's very specific. If you have a strong move, and I don't know about you guys, but 3 days over 100%, that's a strong move. It looks like a strong move. You can tell, you can use your own discretion as to what a strong move is. Moving up that same amount, that's great, but if it took this time, that's not so much a strong move, right? That's more of like a worked for move. It's still a strong move, but I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't find support at your 382 and you went lower, something like that. That can happen, but you could still find support at your 382 even if it was a quote unquote weaker move. Strong moves, quick erratic moves like this, explosive moves, you find support at the 382 almost always, 90% of the time. You could take that to the bank genuinely, and this is why I'm so convicted, right? It's not because this is some kind of theory. It's not because it's something that I like to say and I believe in my heart is true. I do believe in my heart that it's true, but it's not just because I think that I'm saying this, right? I'm saying this because over the last 9 years that I've done technical analysis, I've seen this happen so many times that I've learned my lesson. You don't question it. You just you don't, or you can, and maybe sometimes you'll be right, but 90%, more than 90% of the time, this area holds, the 382 holds, and it's not more complicated than that. You don't have to complicate it with anything else. But let's complicate it. Let's do it. Let's complicate it. Daily RSI, first off, bullish as hell. Bullish as hell, you guys. 4-hour RSI, if we look at it here, you couldn't even get oversold. You're getting overbought, deeply overbought. You can't even get oversold. Bullish as hell. You're living below the 50, which is not ideal, but hey, getting overbought, coming back above the 40, I'm excited. Getting toward the oversold zone, bouncing off it, getting back above the 40. I'm excited to see what comes next, okay? Looking at how you're moving down, there's no volume. No volume at all. In fact, the last big spike, not even big, but just somewhat big spike, which would be above average of what we're seeing now, it came back all the way over here, and that was a green spike, right? Before that, we had this spike here, and that was at the top. So, I mean, that was a relative selling spike, don't get me wrong. But then here as well, we're not getting any selling pressure. We're just getting buying pressure. And if anything, people are uncertain right now. I think the real reason why people are uncertain is because of the Binance futures listing. That's genuinely why I think there's some uncertainty going on here. People are waiting to see what Bitcoin's doing, waiting to see what the rest of crypto's doing. I can promise you one thing, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I don't care about your Binance listings, guys. If Bitcoin's going up, this thing's going to rip. It's going to rip. The rest of the market's going up, this thing's going to rip. This has been a market, whether you like it or not. It's been a market leader this cycle. It's been outperforming every freaking coin in the damn space this cycle. Coins like that, speaking from experience, this is my third bull market now, coins that outperform, they tend to continue to outperform. Dogecoin last cycle was the shining star throughout the whole damn cycle. Same thing with Shiba Inu. Same thing with Mana. Same thing with Sandbox. Same thing with Solana, right? They don't just have their one pump and then they consolidate for a while and then they fizzle out and now they're just following suit with the rest of the market or going below. No, they outperform. Chainlink, whenever it came out, Caspa, when it came out, they outperform. And Caspa, of course, is still not outperforming the markets, but the reason for that, guys, I mean, Caspa, that might not have been the best example. The reason for Caspa not outperforming the markets is it had 26 months of upside, man. It had a lot. It had a 1000x is a lot, okay? 1000x, 26 months of upside. Bitcoin didn't have 26 months of upside in its first bull cycle, right? This thing has to cool off. You can't move in a straight line forever, and you did. So you're dealing with the repercussions of that, okay? Unfortunately, when everybody is recognizing you, but this is not the time to talk about Caspa. We'll talk about Caspa at some point. Getting back to the 4-hour time frame. Bouncing off the oversold zone like this is nice because what it tells me is it gives us a chance to bounce all the way up to the 60. Again, if we go to the 60 in the 4-hour RSI, I don't have the formula in front of me, but I would assume that would give us a breakout of this this bull flag here. We break out of the bull flag, Bitcoin's moving up. We're getting stronger readings on the 4-hour, stronger readings on the daily, 3-day, weekly, all that stuff. I wonder what kind of dots are going to connect in some people's heads. They're going to see exactly what we all see, which is that this is the beginning of that next phase up. They're going to look at this bull flag for what it is, from a low to a high, put this measure move at the base here and say, okay, well, I don't know anything about this project. I know a lot about this project, whatever it may be, but I know something about bull flags. and this tells me that we're going to go to 5.6 cents. It's a no-brainer, right? I've seen it move like this before. I've seen it move like this before. We're in the process of breaking out of a grand bull flag within a little bull flag. Of course we're going to go higher. Of course we're going to go higher. It's inevitable. There's no volume coming in whenever we're moving down. There's only volume coming in whenever we're moving up. Of course we're going to go higher. Looking at the 1 hour time frame here, a little bit of a double bottom in the RSI. Okay, haven't been overbought in a while. Notice the difference now, right? You haven't been overbought in a while. You're actually rejecting the overbought zone and you're getting into the oversold zone. Do you notice what's happening? We're moving down. Fortunately enough, this is on the 1 hour time frame, one of the least significant time frames you could have. It's absolutely insignificant. But we look at it still to compare notes to everything else, right? The most significant is the monthly. Then you got the weekly, 3-day, daily. You know what I mean? The daily's pretty significant because it changes daily. Monthly doesn't change too often, but it is very significant. I mean, the monthly, for example, would be significant if in the next 8 days, 11 hours, essentially like 8.5 days here, if we could close, you guys, above 3.4 cents, which I think we will, we'll have an engulfing candle, and that would be very powerful, right? That'd be absurdly powerful. Hold on. But on the 1 hour time frame, getting back down here, you know that if it's ever like this, you don't have to zoom in like that. You can just click the plus sign and then go boom, I think. Oh, maybe not. What is it? Is it just automatic? You just click automatic. That's what it is, I think. Like if it's like this, maybe you just click automatic. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Anyways. 1 hour RSI here. That don't click the plus button. You got oversold, out of the oversold zone, bounced above the 40, and now you're holding support at the 40, getting above the 60. These are good readings. Now, we've been slightly above the 60 before. We need to persist higher. We don't want to tip the overbought zone. We don't want to kiss it. We want to follow through. We want to get into the land of overboughtness here, okay? That's what we want to do. And if we do, likely that'll correlate with everything that we've been saying. We'll be breaking out of this bull flag. 4 hour RSI will be getting up to the 60 or higher, and then the rest follows suit. So, all that to say, guys, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. There seems to be a lot of bullish fuel, a lot of momentum, and a good bit of that comes from the fact that people are bearish on this thing, actually. As counterintuitive as it is, if you don't understand that, this is your first bull cycle, right? And that's okay. I'm not saying that as an insult. You just don't understand it because you don't have the experience. It's like whenever you get to a new job and people are talking the lingo, you don't understand what they're saying or what they mean. What do you mean put the scraper behind the whatever? I don't even freaking know, man. I don't know what kind of terminology to come up with. But when you come up with a job, even if it's easy, it might be a simple job. You just don't know what you're doing. Everybody else knows what they're doing. All I'm trying to say here by that is that if you don't understand what I mean by people being bearish is actually a bullish thing, I would assume that this is your first bull cycle, because it really takes you seeing it to believe it or understand it, right? And you will understand it. If this is your first cycle, if you don't understand that yet, if you're a hater or a bear out there right now, you'll understand why it's so bullish, right? In fact, think about it this way. When did we have the most despair? When did we have the most hate? When were people talking the most smack? It was at the lows. When were people talking the least amount of smack? It was at the highs, right? It's kind of how it happens, man. It's literally how it happens. But I've got nothing else to say. I feel like I'm just rambling at this point. So main idea here is the same idea we've had for a couple weeks now, is that, or a little bit less than a couple weeks, but still, is that we are going to see prices at about 5.6 cents, or we should put it at the base here, right? It didn't go lower, did it? Is this a slightly lower low? No, it went a little bit higher. Put it at the base there. The target area is 5.6 cents, 5.5 cents, something like that. That's where we're going to go. It's very possible, not financial advice, not financial advisor. It's very possible that we could go higher. Stopping in the middle of the 100 to the 1272 is not common. It's very possible, you guys, that this move is stronger than the last move, okay? The bull flag is a measurement of the last move. That's the measure move right there. So it'd be saying we move in tandem with this. It's very possible that we see a larger move. We might be going all the way up to 8.2 cents, okay? I'll let you guys know when I'm selling. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. When I sell, it's a small trading amount, right? I'm talking about less than 3% of what I hold in OnyxCoin. It's not going to be a lot of OnyxCoin that I'm selling, right? But enough to make some cash, have some fun, get that degenerate behavior out of me, right? And then just make some plays to add to the overall stack in total. I'm not selling all of it because what if I'm wrong? What if it doesn't stop there and we just keep moving up like we did last time? You know what I mean? So that's why we hold on to the stack. I'll let you guys know whenever, like, what I'm doing with my stack, how much I'm selling, when I'm selling. selling, whatever. But just so you know, for the time being, anytime I say I'm selling OnyxCoin or buying OnyxCoin, if I buy more, I'll say I'm buying more. But if I say I buy back in, that just means it's the same amount, right? I bought back into OnyxCoin means that I took my trading amount and I bought back in. If I sold out of OnyxCoin anytime in the future, anytime in the near future over the coming weeks, that's just the trading position, okay? I am going to trade. I actively trade this thing for fun. We actually had some good trades back here where I think there was it just 2 times or just the 1 time? I can't remember. Maybe it was with Cookie that I'm thinking we had some good trades. Here, I sold, I guess it wasn't the best trade. I sold at 1.911 cents right here. And then it went all the way up to here, and then I bought back in. I did buy. I only had 1 good trade with this. That's right. And it wasn't even the best trade, right? But you can still make something good out of something bad. But I bought back in at prices that were basically just below here. We made a little bit of money on that, right? Let's see how much of a difference did we gain there. 1.911 cents. Let's try and get it accurate here. Something like that. A little bit above that, but whatever. And I bought essentially right here. That was about a 10% difference, right? So that's not bad. That's nothing to be ashamed of. But it could have been a lot more if I just waited. If I went to sleep, man, we could have had a 30% difference or something like that. It was so obvious that this was an area to sell. It's at the golden ratio. But again, guys, here I am rambling. We're going up. We're going up to 5.6 cents. We might be going up to 8.2 cents. And on the flip note of that, if we do not perform as anticipated, we could stop a little bit lower. Don't get your feelings hurt if we stop at 3.3 cents or just below 4 cents. It could happen, okay? But knowing OnyxCoin, I very much don't anticipate that we're going to underperform this measure move. If anything, I'd expect that we outperform it. We might see a bigger move because with this measure move comes a breakout of this high that we've been held down by since January. With this measure move comes the bullish momentum of Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto markets and belief coming back into the crypto space. With this next move comes OnyxCoin being in the top 100. It is in the top 100 now. And now whenever people go on CoinMarketCap and they're like, what's moving up today? They click top 24%. OnyxCoin is going to be here, right? It's not going to be Fartcoin or Immutable X or Caspa every single day, right? It's going to have its own turn. And people they'll look at this simple metric and be like, oh, I've never heard of OnyxCoin. Let me look into it. And then they'll find their way here and they'll be like, oh my God, this guy's bullish as hell. He says that it's going to 5 cents by the end of this month. We're at 1.7 cents now. 8 days, 11 hours left. We're going to see 5.6, maybe even 8 cents by the end of April, you guys. It's nuts. Let alone what we got to do beyond that, right? 26 cents is the ultimate target by the end of June, if not earlier. I've got nothing else to say. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. Monthly RSI looks golden. Weekly RSI looks golden. 3-day, daily, the 4-hour even. It all looks good, right? Yes, the 4-hour was blank there for a second. No, it's all looking good. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye. Talk to you soon.